Good morning, everyone, and we have finally stepped into the new year with a clash of intent. Kickstart Football Club still looking for that first win of theirs, caught in the throes of the past. And Sribhumi Football Club, they started the tournament on a high, but suddenly suffered a slump in that last game of theirs, thereby kind of compelling them to introspect about what can be. Well, of course, both the sides they will be hoping to put up a show today. This is Kickstart Football Club. Of course, they've got quite a few big names in that unit of theirs, and obviously goes without saying that they have got what it takes to make the opposition sweat. And at the other end, of course, Sribhumi Football Club will be hoping to get back to winning ways. Well, that's the start. That's how Kickstart lines up today. Linto Igambi Devi under the sticks. Linto Igambi back to the defense. Rafia Taweda, MMSEN, Ranjana Chanu, Kiran Pista, Aruna Bag, Lavet Ene, Durga, Mariamal Balamurgan, and Leshram Bibicha Devi. And they are playing under Chauba Devi, of course, the likes of Nimita Gurung, Sunita Munda, Baby Sana Devi. They are going to be interesting to watch out for if they do come on in the second half itself. And Kiran Balachanu had a great game in the last game, however, was taken off. That is kind of more like a very enigmatic decision that why he was taken off, or rather why she was taken off anyway. And at the other end, of course, we have got Sribhumi Football Club. As said before, they started with a note of promise, but then had a bit of a bump along the way in the last game, suffering a defeat against Nita. Apologies, against Setu Football Club, not Nita Football Academy. And they are also making a few changes. I think we'll quickly confirm that in a few seconds. Bala Devi, in all likelihood, won't be a part of today's game, most likely due to an injury that she might be nursing. She'll be hoping to get fit and return as well. And that's how they line up. They have an interesting 4-3-2-1 formation. Mona Lisa Devi under the sticks, Arifa Zahir, Toibisana Chanu, Rimpa Haldar, Anju Tamang, Dangmei Grace, Priscilla Latte, Karishma Purushottam Shirvoikar, Anju Chanu, Mamta, and Kamala Devi make the starting 11. Of course, on the bench, they've got Afrin Pirboy and Bala Devi finally all set. Well, initially it looked like she had a bit of a challenge, but she is going to be a part of this crucial encounter. Of course, Shivani Devi, a very young talent, and is already making the ripples for all the right reasons. It's going to be interesting to see if she eventually comes out or not. Shujata Kar, again, a very, very seasoned campaigner. Make no mistake about that. But she will also be hoping that her team eventually show what they are made for. Always ready for the challenge, always up for what, or rather the best football that they can eventually play. Right then, it's again more of a mix of a foggy and a chilly morning. But at the end of the day, they'll be hoping to put up a show. And as we were talking about the availability of Bala Devi, of course, on the bench alongside Bala Devi, they have got a couple of big names as well. Moshami Murmu, don't miss out. Moshami Murmu was impressive in Bengal's last year Santosh Trophy winning campaign. Rajmata Jijabhai Trophy winning campaign. This year, however, things are to be seen. And as you can see, these young players all set to prove their mettle. They're all set to once again show that what they are capable of. And we have got two very experienced coaches as well amongst ourselves. Chauba Devi, spearheading Kickstart FC, who still haven't got off the block and right now are battling relegation. Sribhumi Football Club, currently third in the points table. 3 matches, 2 wins, 1 defeat. 7 goals scored, 4 conceded. And at the other end, Kickstart Football Club, I think they are also hunting for goals as well. All they have in that bank of theirs is just that one goal, the solitary goal, which came in that very first game of theirs when they were defeated by Setu Football Club. And from there on, Garhwal United defeated them 1-0 and Nita Football Academy gave them quite a thrashing. So of course, this game is interesting. This game is of significant import to them as the two teams march out to the center, the two teams hoping to prove that they are capable of coming up with absolutely insane performances. Performances that will go down in history, of course. Performances that will show them what they are capable of. Of course, Monalisa Devi, another young contender, another rising star in the making. Kickstart Football Club, they have made 4 changes to the game that went head-to-head against Nita Football Academy and suffered a 5-0 drubbing. And Sribhumi Football Club have made 3 changes. Of course, Bala Devi on the bench, Shivani Devi on the bench. And I think another fascinating change for Kickstart Football Club is that they are getting their primary goalkeeper, Maibam Lintoigambi Devi, under the sticks, who was replaced by Haripriya Deka in the last game. So I think obviously now it's kind of clear that Chaoba Devi wants experience in the side and wants result. I think at times in a marathon tournament like this, the first set of 3 points is very, very important. It helps you to set the tone right. It helps you to amplify the tempo. And it helps you to start believing in yourself. Well, today's official panel, Neetu Rana, the referee. And then we have got Rubaizeli Kyangte Abhirami T as the assistant referees and Vishnu Priya Das as the 4th official. And the 2 captains out in the center, Dangmei Grace leading Sribhumi Football Club. And at the other end, it's Aruna Bag, another seasoned campaigner from Bengal, who will be leading Kickstart Football Club. Right then, we await the flip of the coin and the pre-match rituals before we get underway here at the Kalyani Stadium. And one might expect this game to be a full-blown blockbuster. One might expect this game to feature quite a few goals. It's the calm before the storm. The final words being said, words of promise, words of the madness that will consume Kalyani in the upcoming 90 minutes of exhilarating footballing action. Kickstart Football Club might be shaky, might be tactically undercooked, but then if there's one thing that runs strong in their veins, that's belief. And at the other end, Sribhumi Football Club riding high on a wave of confidence, even though it was questioned in the last game by a terrific performance that came from Seto Football Club. But nonetheless, in a road like this, you won't have it all smooth and slick. You will have a few bumps along the way. You gotta take them, that's coming your way. Then you gotta show what you're capable of. Of course, quite a few overseas names out here today. We have got Priscilla Lati for Sribhumi coming in, and for Kickstart Football Club, we have got MMSEN Rafiat Oweda and Lavit Ede. Lavit Ede hailing all the way from Nigeria. MMSEN as well will be hoping to show the Nigerian firepower. It's a matter of seconds before we are underway here at the Kalyani Stadium. And just on cue, the whistle is being blown and we start rolling. 2 teams eyeing for 3 points. Early press already from Sribhumi Football Club, and Kickstart FC just trying to stabilize, just trying to steady the ship. And that's a good ball forward, straight away from the right. Looking for options in space. Delivers the cross. That's an urgent advancement. Ball still stays alive. And eventually, oh, that's a poor clearance. Can be trouble. And the shot ballooning out of the park should have been done better. Should have been put to bed there. Once and for all. Anju Tamang might be regretting that. Dangmei Grace doing what she does best. Dropped in a phenomenal cross. Mona Lisa Devi is it. In fact, Lingtoi Gambi. She stormed out of a position laying it off perfectly for Anju Tamang, who had a great game in the last one. Was kind of instrumental in the second half, leading that comeback fight. Unfortunately, it went into vain, but that was a good move in the making already. Sribhumi Football Club exuding confidence, showing intent from the word go. They don't want to drop back, they don't want to settle down for another draw. Goals is what they have on their mind, which means the challenge just got a whole new lot tougher for the team hailing all the way from Karnataka. Dangmei Grace had a bit of a reticent day in office in the last game, but today she's hunkered down to business straight away. That's a good run from the left. Karishma was the superhero, was the beacon of salvation, was the stick of hope in the last game for Sribhumi Football Club. And another one of those players who was a part of that sensational turnaround of affairs in the second half. Yumnam Kamala Devi, a set piece specialist is what we call her in the Indian women's footballing circuit. Kamala Devi all set to whip that in. Rams it into the traffic, blocked. Still stays with Kamala. Another fine delivery, eludes everyone. More of a lackadaisical enterprise, to be honest. Someone should have tried to pounce upon that. There were 3 Sribhumi FC players in the box itself. You don't take your chances, it might just come back to haunt you later. And I think if there's one team that's understood the meaning of this particular statement, that has to be Sribhumi Football Club. In the last game, they came up with so many chances, and yet they simply couldn't convert, they simply couldn't flip them home, thereby leading to a 4-2 defeat. Well, of course, the game stayed 3-2 till the very last minute, until there was a penalty given. I mean, it was quite a valid penalty, quite a legit penalty, but then at the end of the day, I think that the game was pretty tight. Only if Sribhumi would have taken their chances, it could have been a completely different tale. And right now you can see, just a few moments ago, Lintoy just getting the ball out, almost going through the motions for it. Not real intent on that. And that's exactly what Sribhumi Football Club will have to capitalize on. There might be a breakthrough movement here. A decent run, to be honest, from MMSEN on the left. But again, good situational awareness, good clearance there. Coming in just in the nick of time. That is very, very important. I think if there's one thing that Kickstart Football Club will have to be very careful about, is holding on to the integrity of that defense of theirs. And then chances like this can very well be the gate to glory. Another one of those long crosses, and needed a bit more precision, even though you can see the body language of Kickstart Football Club. If there's a chance, if even there's an inkling of an opportunity, they might just try and snatch that away. They know it very well, Sribhumi Football Club. They are a formidable side. Last year, both the teams were mighty close. Sribhumi Football Club finishing in the 3rd position and Kickstart in the 4th. Even last year as well, Kickstart had a bit of an ordinary start, but then quite soon garnered their senses and put the jets on. And came back extremely strongly. Anju. And not the best of passes, in fact not the best of receptions. And that opens up a window for MMSEN, and MMSEN trying to lay it off for Rafiat. But the ball goes away. And Rafiat Aweda doesn't get hold of it. Kind of a desperate clearance there from Sribhumi Football Club. Rafiat quickly flipping it around. Again, the clearance needs to be better, but nonetheless, the job has been done. Anju dropping deep. And now some space on the left. Can be one of those openings. Karishma lays it off for Anju. Anju checking that run of hers. Karishma finds Arifa. And Arifa does well to latch onto the ball. A bit of confusion once again. Karishma and Arifa. I think Arifa should have just let the ball fall for Karishma there. Karishma kind of over galvanized, going into a bit of an overdrive. And eventually the shot that came in, it just went all the way to Mehbam Lentoigambi Devi. Easy pickings, and Anju Tamang in the process might have taken a bit of a blow there. She has matured immensely in recent years. Of course, she was already a stalwart in the making. And then last year with East Bengal, the defending champions of the Indian Women's League, didn't really get regular starts. Whenever she got an opportunity, she showed what she was capable of. Just a few moments ago, I think Karishma Sribhumi could have just allowed Arifa Zahir to go forward with that run. And that's Sujata Kaur for you. Another stalwart in Bengal football. Another woman who has been doing the honours of leading Sribhumi Football Club with purpose. That's what's needed. Mehbam Lentoigambi drops it forward, drops it downtown, collected by the Kickstart players. Not the best of passes, but then Sribhumi Football Club makes a hash of affairs only to regain possession. Because right now it's more of a competition of which team can mispass more, is it? Here, however, can be a chance. A lovely chance, in fact. A good opening coming up. Rafia Taweda from the left. Trying to unleash one of those belters that she is known for. It was a fine run. Got past Kamala Devi with consummate ease. Unfortunately, just couldn't hit the target. It was kind of tough to get the shot in position. And as things stand, it's still goalless here at the Kalyani Stadium. Rafiat did well with that first touch. Did get the ball out of harm's way. Now through the centre. This might be trouble in the making. Anju Tamang looking for space. Releases it on the left. Karishma Sribhumi. And Karishma wins a corner. That was a fine opening there. Karishma, despite the fact that she ran into a cul-de-sac, did manage to eke out a set piece, which is going to be very, very important. We'll try and show you, if possible, what really happened. Anju Tamang showing that maturity, showing that experience. Releasing the ball just when it mattered the most. Nonetheless, it's a corner. And it's a chance. Kamala Devi pummels it into the mix. No one to try and capitalize upon. And then a very half-baked enterprise there from Arifa Zahir. Trying to go for a bicycle kick. The referee's blown the whistle. What really happened? Is that a penalty? Looks like it is. And out of nowhere, things have simply spiraled into chaos. We'll have to see what really happened, what led to this very moment. And it is a spot kick. Kamala Devi will step up. Was there a handball inside the box? Looks like when the ball was dropping, that is when it happened. Might be, just might be, a moment of madness. And that's exactly the case. But Kamala Devi, she's all set. Kamala Devi, right on target, breaks the deadlock. A fine penalty. And Sribhumi Football Club takes the lead. Just what the doctor ordered. A breakthrough moment. Again, not really from open play. More like the opposition kind of gifted in a way. But Kamala Devi, she's willing to take those gifts. At the end of the day, it's festive season here across the world. Yeah, I think just that inch of the hand, not really sure still where. But definitely it happened right in front of the referee's own eyes. And Kamala Devi, cool, calm, composed, simply placing it past Maibam Lintoigambi. And no real challenge for her. She's a seasoned warrior, does this day in, day out. And we have our first goal from the spot. And in fact of the game as well. So we are off the block here at Kalyani Stadium. And now Anju Tamang does well to control the ball. She's got options though. That's a good release. The idea is to try and find Karishma. And Karishma does get hold of it. Anju almost speeding through. Anju with a bit of a finish. Chips that ball into the center. And Lintoigambi, she does well to collect that without much of a trouble. Right now, the pressure, it keeps on amplifying. Another fine run maybe, a bit of a push. Now in the box, goes for the shot. It was a fine enterprise altogether from Anju Chanu. And needed some saving from Maibam Lintoigambi. Or else it might have been tricky. She just kept on going. Bibicha Devi trying to outmuscle her. Realized that she has failed to do so. Which kind of gave an added incentive, an added boost altogether to Anju Chanu to keep on going forward with that run. And she did so. Even came up with a shot as well. But then Maibam Lintoigambi was in position to collect that. Not breaking a sweat at all. Arifa Zahir. Kamala Devi does well. Anju Tamang in pursuit. Anju Tamang, just before she could lay claim to the ball, there was a fine clearance there. A sliding tackle from Aruna Bagh. Every succeeding minute, things are looking a bit gloomy out here for Kickstart. Possession is being conceded way too easily, and that too just ahead of the box, which might be challenging. Another attempt to thread a crossfield ball. Not to be. Kamala Devi miles away from her home. Another cheap concession, another chance. Shot comes in, but eventually extremely emasculated. Right now, this ritual of conceding the ball in front of that own 18-yard box of theirs, it is only trouble and nothing else. And truth be told, if Chauba Devi doesn't find a fix to this, things can look really ominous in the upcoming minutes. Another corner. Mamta floats it in. Repelled away. Kamala Devi. Kamala Devi can take those long ranges. And does try one as well. And now this might be one of the openings. Can very well be 2 versus 1. If the timing of the pass is right. That's a lovely forward pass. And a chance somehow goes begging. Incredible run there from Rafia Taweda. But a very good save from Mona Lisa Devi as well. Absolutely undaunted. She stormed out of the line. Let's take a look there. The $1 million delivery. It doesn't get better than that. And Rafia Taweda, she did everything she could. But it simply wasn't enough. We'll take a look once again. Everyone completing their task with distinction. And that's what you want to watch. That's what you want to see. Think about it. Mona Lisa Devi, she knew she had to come out of the line. Had a very tough game in the last one. Conceded 4 goals. But today it's all about finding herself once again. And I think the manager of Kickstart Football Club not really happy with the call of the referee. And possibly coming up with a bit of a warning as well. Saravana Dharman. That's another one of those long balls forward. Again, a fine chase, but doesn't really come to fruition. Dang Mei Grace. It feels like she's being plucked out of her position time and time again. She's not really getting a particular juncture to operate from. Ideally, that stability that you usually like. And once again, taking a tumble, the referee blows the whistle. Rimpa Haldar gets back up. Rimpa, more comfortable in the wings, but once again for her team, she's operating from the center alongside Anju Chanu. The duo of attacking midfielders, backed by the experience of Kamala Devi just behind them. Kamala playing the bridge between the defense and the attack. Once again, the clearances need to get better, or else long ranges like this can be troublesome. If you simply do not get the ball out of harm's way, and that too emphatically, players like Anju Chanu, Anju Tamang, Rimpa Haldar, they are blessed with the ability, with the flair of shooting from distance, and once they hit the target, it will only lead to more and more troubles for you, and you don't want that. You will try and shake it off. That's an easy clearance at the end of the day. Bibicha Devi gets it to Rafiat, but before the ball could have cycled its way back to Bibicha Devi, there was an interception. Wonderfully done. The ball going out of play. Throw in for Kickstart Football Club. Kiran Pista. And the throw, kind of overpowered, to be honest. Almost reflected of the opposition. Darifa Zahir, again senior player, knows the responsibility that comes along with it. A regular starter for Sribhumi Football Club, providing the reliability, the stability on that particular left flank, and more importantly, those overlaps of hers, very well timed. She's not in haste at any point in time. She's not running in cursory. She's always on the lookout, always wary of precision. And more importantly, as we say, that the sense of timing in football is a rare gift. In Arifa, she's got it. With twists and turns, Bibicha Devi out in the center. Decent clearance. Didn't want to take any risk at all. Now through the center. Again, the idea was to possibly storm forward with intent, but that was not going to be. And now Kickstart Football Club, they've just given the ball away. And Sribhumi Football Club returning the favour. So far in the first 19 minutes, the majority of the play has been about who can make more mistakes, who can make less. Both the teams kind of rife with mispasses for now. Will have to try and bump up that passing accuracy, or else this game might not scale the heights that has so far been pinned onto its back. And especially considering the kind of firepower that both the teams come in with. So far, Rafiat Aweda has looked really good up front. She's at least tried to construct chances. Bibicha intercepted. Kiran Pista. Kiran hoping to find Rafiat at the receiving end of this delivery. But then it goes the other way. Straight into the safe hands of Mona Lisa Devi, who does well. She collected without a fuss. Anju gets the touch to it. That's a fine ball forward from Dang Mei Grace, a player who has grown over the years, Dangmei. Hailing all the way from Manipur, she's won the SAF Women's Championship twice. That's an interesting early change already. Ranjana Chanu has been taken out, and no apologies, Priscilla Lottie has been taken out, and she has been replaced by Poonam Sharma. Poonam didn't have a great game of football last day either, but now Sribhumi Football Club, they get an all-Indian outfit out in the centre. Not really sure why this decision so early in the game, but I think we've seen it in the last game as well, where Shujata Kar, she doesn't like to wait till the second half. For her, it's clear, you either perform or you make way for others. And again, after Poonam had a very ordinary day in the last game, I think Sujata is expecting her to fire. That was another fine delivery. And Rafiata Veda almost went close by. Comfortable collection at the end of the day by Mona Lisa Devi. That's a good ball, Anju. Again, slightly heavy on the touch there, making life slightly easier for Lentoi. No real trouble at all. This could have been another one of those incredible opportunities, and not to be. Now twisting through the center, Lavatede. Again, not the most promising deliveries in front either. Goes out comfortably enough. And Mona Lisa Devi, after waiting for an eternity, eventually picks up the ball. But that's $1 million delivery. Anju Tamang. Anju looking for options. Options arrive. A chance for Rimpa Haldar. Rimpa Haldar overshoots it. Well. Point blank range. You gotta put it away. This is profligacy of the highest order. Just get the shot out of your repertoire. Just hit the target. You won't get an easier chance like that. Especially someone like Rimpa Haldar, who's had testing times of late. Very sensational rising talent, Rimpa Haldar, but then at times you have to find your way forward. You have to get it right. In a chance like this, Anju Tamang almost setting things up on a silver platter. And Rimpa simply goes for the sky. But nonetheless, Sribhumi Football Club once again just carving open one of those lanes there. Excuse me for that. Anju Tamang. Anju, she's been an absolute boon for Sribhumi Football Club. Spreading magic in the midfield, up front as well. And her partnership with Karishma Shirvoikar, that's a treat to the eyes. A delectable one, actually. And the more you see her operate, the more speed, intensity, and firepower that she brings. It's absolutely brilliant. And make no mistake, Anju Tamang's earlier credentials. She's already a part of the Indian side. 15 goals for her. And she's already an IWL champion twice, not once. She's won it with Rising Students Club and East Bengal Club last year. So of course she's coming on the back of a title win. And now she's switched to Sribhumi Football Club. Kamala Devi does well. Kamala spearing it forward. Comfortably collected there. Once again, fine snatch out in the centre. And then, to be honest, a very miscued shot that ensues. Could have done better. Karishma Shirvoikar, again, still buoyant from the confidence, from the panache that she garnered in the last game. In fact, it was not Karishma, it was Anju Chanu with the shot. Kamala Devi. And now, a bit of fortune that fell Kickstart's way, only for them to squander it away. Could have been a fine pass, could have been a defense-splitting pass, but then they simply deposited possession. And now some momentum from the right. Karishma Shirvoikar. A gentle nick forward. And the cross comes floating in. Eludes everyone. In fact, it still keeps on eluding. And this has been the highlight since the morning. Both the teams chasing down the trajectory of the ball when it's flashing right in front of them. You gotta take your chances, you gotta pounce upon them. Sribhumi Football Club should have been up by at least a couple of goals already. They just have that one goal to show for all that belligerence of theirs, and that came from the spot. None of them from the open play. Wherein they have actually created categorical chances to punish Kickstart Football Club after a string of errors. But now Rafiat has so far looked good. She's taken the workload. She still keeps on doing so. Rafiat will have to release the ball. She eventually does so. Forcing more of a hasty clearance there from Toibisana Chanu. Rafiat going past Mamta. And Mamta still showing embers of weaknesses in the last game as well. It was from Mamta's side that Sribhumi Football Club founded their, or rather, Setu Football Club founded that Achilles heel of their counterparts. Kiran Pista, all set to deliver the corner. Headed away. Still with Kiran. Kiran goes long again. Kiran almost tying for the goal herself. Probing Mona Lisa's reflexes. And lucky for her, in fact unlucky for her, that she failed to hit the target. And that definitely was a decent shot. And only if it had a bit more dip in the ball, a bit more curve on the ball, it could have been a different story. But it was not to be. Kiran. Anju Tamang disrupting her. But nonetheless, Vibicha Devi did get hold of the ball. Back to Kiran. Kiran launching it forward once again. An all elusive delivery, to be honest. And now Rimpa. That could have been good link-up play out in the centre, but it's not to be. Anju Chanu. Anju Chanu runs out of space. Guarded by a couple of defenders there. So even if she evaded one, she was going straight into another. And that's a fine sliding tackle there. Just in time. By Poonam Sharma. Had to come up with that, or else there was an attack in the making. Mariam Malbala Morgan, she was lining one of those crosses up, maybe measuring out what can be the right time, and crashing Mariam Mal's party was Poonam Sharma, who's come on as a substitute in place of Priscilla Latte. Again, Kickstart, they'll have to get hold of the ball right now. It isn't looking pretty promising for them. And Rimpa Haldar dashing down through the centre. Can be one of those chances. She's got options. And while she was trying to cut in there, the captain Dang Mei Grace She's known for scoring from that particular range. That's another lovely ball. Mona Lisa Devi coming to the deliverance of her side. And then more of a half-baked attempt, seeing Mona Lisa off the line. Kickstart doing what they had to do, but just couldn't impart the kind of perfection that they were looking forward to. Things got a bit too hasty, but nonetheless, this is exactly the objective that should be in front of Kickstart Football Club. Despite the scoreline, despite the equation, despite the growing pressure that's being mounted on them, they'll have to find their ways in the attack as well. Yes, they'll need a bit more perfection, they'll need a bit more precision when it comes to weighing the ball, when it comes to laying them off. But more importantly, they'll have to keep on pressing, they'll have to kind of force Sribhumi Football Club in giving the ball away. And right now, the pressure is at a bare minimum. Rafia Tawede has been one of those glittering beacons of light so far. Bit of disappointment, to be honest. Ranjana Chanu coming back empty-handed. Dangmei does well to get past Kiran, but then Kiran recovers well enough and blocks the route to Dangmei. Once again, the possession has fallen away. What really is happening right now for Kickstart Football Club? They win the ball, the defenders work hard, win the ball, and then simply give it away in a mere folly. And if that is what they are up for, they'll only dig a deeper grave for themselves. Right now, they'll need some visionary passes. But all they are getting is a flurry of missed passes that is not helping their cause at any cost at all. This time the referee blows a whistle. Looks like have a bit of a hold up. Yeah, so most likely the ball crossed, and it did cross, thereby resulting in a throw-in. Once again, we can see some dissent. Seen this before. Saravana Dharman has been warned before by the assistant referee and needs to be a bit more careful. You wouldn't want a card for yourself. And especially for Kickstart Football Club, they'll have to understand that right now they'll need all hands on deck. They'll need all the support that they can gather. And they'll have to come together. So, of course, with someone even on the bench copying a card, it can lead to trouble. Throw in for Kiran Pista. Aruna launching it forward. The Yumnam Kamala Devi does well to keep it away from Rafiat. Not the best of passes though. And now the ball lingering around extremely dangerously. But Sribhumi Football Club, they eventually take care of the proceedings. They ensure the fact that there is no freebie on offer for Kickstart Football Club. And they'll have to earn themselves something which can break down the defense, which can break down the barriers. Arifa Zahir. Anjit Amang doesn't get a proper head to it, but does well to eventually turn past her marker, compelling her to clear the ball, compelling her to clear the lines. Arifa once again. Back to Arifa. And Arifa overshooting that one. Easy enough for Lintoy Gambi. And Lintoy Gambi extremely composed. Rafiat trying the hardest. In the center, up top, has been an insane workhorse, but then where's the support? Almost stranded. Good layoff, Dang Mei Grace. Dang Mei goes for shot herself. What the idea was, and I think a quick word of apology as well to her teammates. And Dang Mei Grace, another prolific shooter. I think at times it's hard for her to resist chances like these, but then it was on a weak foot. He loves to cut in and eventually takes the shot with the right foot. And it looks like there's another development. The goalkeeper might have collected a back pass there, leading to an indirect free kick from the box. No, in fact, the ball cleared the lines. Apologies. The ball cleared the lines, which has led to a corner. And it came more like a surprise. Kamala Devi is going to be the one to deliver that. Kamala Devi floats the corner. And there was chaos at the far side. But no one is still able to capitalize from that. And as things stand, it's all hunky-dory for now. Still 1-0 in favour of Sribhumi Football Club. The solitary goal coming from penalty. That was converted by Yumnam Kamala Devi. And now it falls back for Karishma. Karishma trying to lay it off. Oh wow, once again in the danger zone. Wonderful layoff. Anju Tamang rattles the side netting. Went way too acute. Almost crammed herself into a very uncomfortable corner. Had to possibly chip the ball early enough. She wanted to be overtly sure, thereby squandering away another gilt-edged chance. Another opportunity goes begging, and Sribhumi Football Club, they'll have to rethink what they are doing right now. At this point in time, it's only turning into a wave of missed chances. Some momentum there for Kickstart. But looks like, again, that has been snuffed out in no time at all. Rafiat twirling around, but once again, just take a look at how many players serenade Rafiat. And that will be a free kick, handball. It was as clear as daylight, no questions asked. Anju Chanu kind of getting that hand in a very awkward position. Couldn't really gauge the sudden leap of the ball. And now we have a corner. Apologies, now we have a free kick. Sincere apologies for that. And it's going to be taken by Mariam Albala Murugan. Mona Lisa Devi setting up the forces, setting up the wall. Kiran Pista could have been an option as well. Known for those vicious left footers of hers. But looks like she'll be okay with that for now. Staying in the wall, hoping to plant seeds of chaos. Rafiat out on the right can very well be plotting, can very well be hatching a scheme. Another one of those incredible free kicks that did turn. And in fact, it turned sharper than a windy trail of affairs. But then couldn't just hit the target. But Mariam Albala Murugan will definitely be delighted with an effort like that. That certainly did come as a surprise to Mona Lisa Devi. Arun Abad waylays that. Composure on display. Love it, Ede. Love it, Ede. Trying to latch on to the ball. Another fine effort from distance, but you need to come up with something which can eventually trouble your counterpart. For now, it's all about just trying your luck from range. It's more like it's all about getting what should be done, but that won't really get you back to where you want to be. We're almost in the last minute. In fact, the last 3 minutes, apologies. Last 3 minutes of the first half. And after that, whatsoever gets added on. So basically, 2.5 minutes to regulation time. Rafiat has some space. Still with Rafiat. Scanning the perimeter for more options. Rafiat goes for the cross. Again, more of a goal mouth melee. Ranjana. Ranjana launches it in the box. Rafiat. She's been quite a troublemaker for Sribhumi Football Club. And decent body shielding at the end of the day for Mona Lisa Devi. Once again, simply being aware of the situation. That is very, very important. Again, a fine clearance. There was pressure in the making. No real trouble at all. Just getting the ball out of harm's way. And again, quickly ensuring the fact that they had things under control. Decent clearance in the making. At this point in time, the game looks a tad scrappy. Again, a fine shot, but then Mona Lisa Devi just leaping out here in the nick of time. And eventually getting on top of the ball's trajectory. And once again, the referee's blown the whistle. And in all likelihood, that will be another corner this time. 3 minutes of additional time at the end of the first 45 minutes. 3 minutes for Kickstart Football Club to try and find a way forward. Try and restore parity. Kiran Pista. Kiran smashes the corner. Mona Lisa Devi palms it away. Aruna Bagh on the turn, but then doesn't get the shot right. Aruna Bagh, she's tried her very best to assist her team's attacking intent. Try and bridge the gap between the attackers and the defenders. Has gone on constant overlaps. And in the last 7 to 8 minutes of the first half, Kickstart Football Club has been a lot more active. Again, a bit of an awkward bounce, thereby allowing Sribhumi Football Club to get themselves back in the hunt and clearing the ball away without any trouble at all. Ranjana Chanu, Bibicha Devi. Bibicha does well to get past a couple of defenders only to walk into a trap. And now Sribhumi Football Club, they might have an opening. Launches it forward, but Aruna Bagh standing tall with a very staunch show. Rafiat launches it forward with no one around, no one in the box, no one in the trajectory of the ball. Easy pickings there for Mona Lisa Devi. Harifa. Anju Tamang. Anju not having enough space. Switches it back to Harifa. And through the center now. But that's a phenomenal delivery. Has got some speed on it. And Karishma does well to keep the ball in play. Karishma with the cross towards the far side. Possession stays alive. Rimpa with the shot blocked away. Poonam Sharma looking in very good touch. And that's exactly why she was brought on by Chauba Devi. Here's a chance for Sribhumi. Gentle chip. Headed away by Kiran. And now Kickstart Football Club. They want to find themselves hunting back for the equalizer, but not to be. But that's a good ball forward. Flag has stayed down. Rimpa just doesn't get the avenue to try and channel it goal bound. That was a fine run, to be honest. Rimpa Haldar showing off that speed of hers, winning a corner for her team, which can very well be the last move of the first half. Ranjana Chanu quickly taking a position in the near post. It's going to be Mamta with the corner. Mamta takes it short. Anju. Here comes the cross. And Rafiat does well, but Rafiat's long ball has been cut short. And with this, we come to the end of the first half. A long whistle from Neetu Rana confirms so. And the scoreline at the end of the first half still stays where it was 34 minutes ago. 1-0 in favour of Sribhumi Football Club. Kamala Devi converting from the spot. No mistake made. Apart from that, too many chances were created by Sribhumi Football Club, but they were not capitalized upon. And at the other end, Kickstart Football Club, they have come forward with, once again, pretty half-cooked opportunities. Rafiat Aweda being the solitary beacon of lining. We'll quickly take a look at the highlights of the first half. Started on a note of resolve. Straight away with an opportunity from the right. It was Dangmei Grace. And then quite a few missed passes. One of the finest chances in the morning. Anju Tamang skying that. And then Rafiat Aweda trying her luck from range, not to be. And then that was the penalty. The handball that we all talked about. And then Yumnam Kamala Devi stepping up and calmly slotting it home beyond the extended hands of Mehbam Lentoi Gambi. And that was another fine chance in the making by Anju Chanu before this happened. An incredible all-round play, both the players doing the perfect thing. Then another one of those fine snipes from distance. It was Anju Chanu. Mona Lisa Devi had to be busy today because of Rafiat. And then Anju Tamang with a lovely through ball. Unfortunately, Rimpa Haldar getting it all wrong. Some incredible snatching out in the center. Anju Chanu once again trying her luck from range, but failing to hit the target. And then a bit of a vicious dip. Another fine assist could have been in the name of Anju Chanu. Almost threading it like a feather into the galloping stride of Anju Tamang. But she missed it out. A lovely free kick with a vicious dip. Didn't get the honours done. Kiran Pista with a flurry of corners. And then a shot on the turn from Aruna Bagh. But once again, misplacing the ball's direction. Rimpa trying to get a shot in play. And that is how it all ended in the first half. Well, we'll take a quick breather. Halftime scoreline: Sribhumi Football Club 1, Kickstart FC 0. We'll take a quick breather and be back with the second half. Stay tuned, everyone. Welcome back, everyone, for the second half of the contest. This is going to be another challenging half of football, a half that might see both the teams hunkering down to action in the finest of fashion. And we start rolling in the second half of the contest. The first half, we have just seen that solitary goal coming from Kamala Devi, who made no mistake in converting from the spot. And since then, a lot of chances have been created by both the sides. Sribhumi Football Club, a lot more intent. Kickstart Football Club, they've come close, but they will need a bit more precision. They will need a bit more proactivity, and more importantly, they will need the right set of passes. Free kick for Sribhumi. Toibisana Chanu. Chanu lunges it forward, and Mebamlan Toigambi makes no mistake. Gets it out of harm's way without any trouble at all. Well, a change has been made by Sribhumi Football Club, and that is Moshumi Murmu coming on in place of Dangmei Grace. Dangmei Grace didn't really have a very promising first half. And now Rafiat up against a couple of defenders, looking for support. Does get it in the form of Lovett Ede. Back to Rafiat. Rafiat delivers across, nicely checks it down. And that was a fine move in the making there. Wonderful enterprise, to be honest, and that was Baby Sana Devi, who's come on in the second half as well. So a couple of changes for both the sides. Moshumi Murmu making her way in place of Dangmei Grace. Both the sides looking for goals. And thereby the two changes. Kickstart Football Club a lot more relentless, because they are the one who will need the all-important equalizer. Baby Sana Devi, Babicha Devi. And Olivia Chanu has also come in. So a couple of changes now. Ranjana Chanu has been taken off. Olivia Chanu looked pretty good in the last game. Showed intent, did come up with quite a few chances. Kind of just tells you that right now Chauba Devi wants the best in the mix, because Sribhumi Football Club, they have turned out into quite a tough unit to try and beat. That's Toibisana Chanu for you. And Durga has been taken off. in place of whom Baby Sana Devi has come on. Kickstart Football Club now just trying to get the ball out of harm's way. Arifa Zahir. Kamala Devi out in the center, quickly switching it to the right. Bit of a long chase, to be honest. And that will go out of the park. Throw in. And now Kamala Devi, she had some space in front. Again, no one from Kickstart Football Club nearby. Falls back for Rafiat, however. Rafiat quickly twitching it into the mix. And nicely done. An attempt from range. But whom was it headed for? Flies out to the park. Mona Lisa Devi finds a decent option downtown. Rafiat. And that gets out of harm's way. Throw in, however, for Kickstart Football Club. This is a decent duel in the making. Toibisana Chanu and Rafiat Oveda. A free kick for now. And it's Kiran Pista once again. Launches it forward. Sribhumi takes control. Hammers it through the center. Only for the possession to fall back in Kickstart's favour. Bibicha Devi. Bibicha does well. Lovett Ede. Lovett has got Rafiat on the right. Now that's a gentle nick forward. Another cross towards the far post. And that definitely looked like it had some sting to it. Lovett Ede needed to call it a bit. Once again on the right foot. It's kind of hard to try and call it goal bound. She'll only get an outswinger from there if the very best of her shots come out. You will need runners close by. You will need runners to try and pounce upon the chance. Marauders in the box, we call them. Kickstart Football Club are now starting to get a hold of the game. But Anju Tamang finds Karishma, is it? Yes, in fact, Karishma it was. Leaves it slightly wide and a bit of a hefty push there from Ranjana Chanu. Yeah, we'll take a look what really happened. There it was. That was really nasty. No questions asked. And here's a free kick for Sribhumi Football Club. A decent position to have it from. Kenyumnam Kamala Devi do the honors. She's done it before. From distance like this, from an angle like this. Bibicha Devi stands tall in front of Kamala. Kamala Devi with a lovely curl, to be honest, but a bit too much on that ball as well. As it flew out to the park, and Kamala Devi quickly backtracking her way to that defensive position of hers. She knows very well what the commitment is, knows very well what the assignment is. Midfielders, they don't really have any rest, do they? They have to be a part of everything. When the team is transitioning to defense, they'll have to take their positions. When the team is out in the attack, out for an attack, they're always on the lookout. And Yumnam Kamala Devi, one of the most hardworking midfielders you will come across. Kiran Pista. I think before she could take the throw and the referee's blown the whistle, she'll have to wait. Looks like there's a bit of a heated discussion out in the center, or whatsoever the discussion was has been taken care of. But that's wonderfully done by Lovett. Lovett and just couldn't get the ball rolling. Again, she wasn't in a very comfortable position as well, so she did what she had to win a throw-in. And that will be a corner. Kiran kept on gunning it in front as much as possible. Another set piece in the making. A one-goal cushion is never really easy to hold on to. Extremely slender, extremely fragile. The chance for Kickstart to try and break free. That takes it along the carpet. Babicha. Didn't look like it had any promise. And now Anju Tamang trying to drive it forward. Nicely won. Wonderful first touch to keep it under control. Lovett on the ball. Lovett lays it to the left and it was a bit heavy, to be honest. Babicha, however, still sticking by. And now through the center, a shot from range. And baby Sana Devi once again raising the hearts of the Kickstart fans. And eventually letting it sink. Needed a bit more precision, needed to go for a flatter trajectory. But then couldn't just get the shot right, couldn't just get the point of connection right. Went underneath the ball and needed to come in with power. Not the elevation that she imparted. The tussle for the ball goes on and on and on. Now breaking free on the right, it is Anju Tamang. But then she doesn't get hold of the ball. Olivia. Ranjana launching it forward. She had a better option possibly in Lovett Ede, who was wide open on the left. Could have gone for that. And from there, could have just expected Lovett Ede to come up with a decent cross. Went in the center. Trying to find Rafiat. Another cross from Kickstart. And Sribhumi wins the ball now. Rimpa. Acres of space ahead of her. And she releases it for Anju Tamang. Anju goes for the shot after an outside curve. But that outside dodge is what took away what was of more propitious angle for her. A wonderful release, a timely release there by Rimpa Haldar. Breaking free from the clutches of her marker easily enough. Anju, the speed queen, does well to latch onto the ball. Relays it to the left. She's got options here. Yeah, but you also need to get hold of the ball. That's very good defending from Kiran Pista. That's what experience does to you. You stay in there in your fight. It looks like Anju Tamang is in some serious trouble. She's asking for a substitution here. And she's struggling with that knee of hers, is it? Yeah, I think it's a bit of a slam onto that ankle of hers. Just before she could release the pass. I think she copped the entire pressure of that release onto that ankle. Ideally, when you're slamming the ball, if there's a boot in front of you and that collision can be really painful, really agonizing. That's exactly what's happened. Anju Tamang so far has been in phenomenal touch. Time and time again, both the sides have come closer. Kickstart Football Club slightly more active in the second half. And from that penalty that was won, Yumnam Kamala Devi converting that without any trouble at all. Kept her eyes on the ball, very composed. It's going to be interesting to see if Anju Tamang will continue being a part of this. Of course, Sribhumi Football Club, they've got a lot of options. They've got Bala Devi on the bench, so there's nothing for them to worry. They've got Bala Devi, they've got Shivani Devi as well. Shivani Devi can be a more like for like change for Anju Tamang because Bala Devi is more of a finisher and she circles around the box waiting for opportunities. Shivani Devi is someone who creates stuff. She's going up and down. Very incredible player, a very young player to be honest as well. And more importantly, comes in with that proclivity of belting those shots when needed. Rimpa does well, but Karishma fails to capitalize. Relinquishes possession and Kickstart Football Club straight away with a long ball. But again, not to much avail. We have crossed the 1 hour mark in this game, and as things stand, still 1-0. Koibisana Chano in recent times has looked in fine touch. And of course, another growing phenomena in the Indian women's footballing excellence. The Indian women's footballing team has been doing a phenomenal job and they have been on a curve of ascendancy. That's what you really want to see day in, day out. It's more like a revolution is in place. Anju Tamang back to action. Nicely chested down. And that ball has fallen in place. Can be trouble in the making. MMSN went for a twirl, but had no clue where the ball was. Lost track of it. And now Sribhumi Football Club, Rimpa snatches it away. Now through the center, Anju Chanu. Anju relays it to the left. Fine diagonal ball. Lots of space on the right. But the ball dissected the gap between an advancing, a careening Rimpa Haldar and Maibam Lentoi Gambi easily enough. Lentoi Gambi won't be unhappy about that. She wouldn't want pressure growing on her. She'll just let it fly by. SAN dropping deep. Kiran with a gentle nick. Trying to spot Rafiat. Rafiat doesn't get hold of the ball. Ranjana. That's a good link-up play. Olivia. Again, Olivia could have waited a bit more before releasing the ball. Could have taken a couple of steps all by herself. Anju Tamang. Anju. That's it forward. Rimpa Haldar on the lookout. Rimpa has been blocked away by Aruna. Oh, it took a lot of time. Rimpa and Aruna plays in the same state team. So of course they're friends as well. But now they're sworn rivals. Rimpa needed to be quick enough. At least on that occasion. That has been one of the major causes of trouble in recent times for her. Kind of a bit too late to try and unleash those efforts from her. She was known for the quick maneuvers. She's extremely nimble-footed, has got a lot of speed, upper cylinder. But then she'll have to try and use that. Rafiat almost going for the ball, and that's a head-on collision. And the referee instantly blew the whistle, awarding a free kick there. Arifa Zahir sustained a full blow there the moment the ball had a bit of an awkward bobble. There you go. Lucky for Arifa that it didn't really come up with a substantial impact, or else the referee would have had to stop the play in order to get the concussion check done. Rafiat again. It has been all rough yards so far for Kickstart. But suddenly, the Sribhumi defense looks like there are a few schoolgirl errors happening out here. Not the most promising clearances, and just on cue, you could see that just getting the ball out of harm's way has been their objective in the second half. And now Anju Tamang, that's good understanding. Karishma does well. Karishma goes for shot herself, only to find Mebam Lintoi Gambi under the sticks, all set to collect that without any trouble at all. Rafiat trying to get at the receiving end of it. A one back, Yumnam Kamala Devi. She'll get the ball out of the ground because a teammate is down on the turf and will need some treatment there. You can see Shujata Kaur. A few decisions kind of bothering her. Take a look at what really happened. I think again that was completely unintentional. Toibisara Chanu trying to stop that. And Rafiat Oera just extending that boot of hers. Again, in football, when it's a 50-50 chance, you will see players going even harder than that at you for the ball. But it's not to be. Brought down this time, and the referee's blown the whistle, laying down the law. Kickstart Football Club. They have another free kick from a very good position here. And it's going to be Kiran Pista. Kiran Pista, she's been continuously at it. In fact, now she'll let Olivia Chanu try and curl the free kick. Olivia was instrumental in the last game as well ever since she came on. Did create a few chances and today as well, hoping to leave a lasting, indelible impact. Olivia with the free kick, but once again, just got it all wrong. Or went for the shot all by herself. At times you have to launch them better. These free kicks can very well be the difference between 3 points. And a change for Kickstart Football Club. We have got Kiran Balachanu in place of MMSN. MMSN did look slightly off color today. Kiran Balachanu got replaced in the 30th minute mark in the last fixture. And now she's come back with a point to prove. Another one of those long balls from Kickstart Football Club. That's a good layoff. Kamala Devi goes slightly over there. Should have tried to control the shot. It was more like reflex, hoping for one of her teammates to come in with the run, but still, that ball was mighty overpowered. And it got way too easy for Mebam Lentoi Gambi to cut shot. A bit of a chase there from Karishma Shirwaikar. But that's not something that they'll have to be worried about. Brought down nicely. The tussle for the ball continues. One back by Baby Sana. And now Kamala Devi gets hold of the ball. Once again, launching it forward. Which simply because you're launching it forward doesn't mean that you will find the player that you are hunting for. At times you need to control that delivery a bit more, or else it can be trouble in the making. 20 minutes of regulation time remaining on this in this particular fixture. This exactly hasn't been a high-octane swashbuckling battle. A few chances hidden and yon. Talking about chances now, Rafiat just doing what she had to do. Unfortunately caught in a melee of players, but Kickstart, they keep on coming forth. Another cross, and that's a very good collection altogether. Mona Lisa Devi positioning herself to perfection and snuffing out what should have been a decent opening. Now that's a nasty push from Anju Chano, simply muscling Bibicha Devi out of her way. I wanted an outlet, that's all. And here's a free kick. Darted forward. And that will go fizzing out of the park. Was a decent chase, to be honest, not a bad chase to have, but then that ball already went miles away. Kiranbana Chanu, it was. Aruna. Baby Sana, running rings around the counterpart. Rimpa Haldar couldn't really snatch the ball away. Back to Aruna. Anju Tamang on the lookout. Ranjana. Kickstart back to defense. We'll have to rush a bit. Aruna Bagh. There was pressure growing on her. Not much that she could have done anyway. Once again, cheap concession. Sribhumi Football Club hunting that insurance goal. But again, overpowered. Over-elevated. And the ball flies out of the park. Moshumi Murmu. It's come on in the second half in place of Dangmei Grace. Doesn't really get the rhythm right. Anju Tamang in pursuit. That's decent link up here. And now Kiran Prista for Rafiat. Rafiat lays it off towards the far right. Lovett Ede. Lovett with the cross. Between a couple of players. Lovett still trying to win the ball. And that will be a goal kick. Lovett Ede now trying to pressurize Sribhumi Football Club a bit more. And Sribhumi kind of standing tall and not willing to give in, not willing to give up. They understand that they are not exactly in a very comfortable position, especially with Kickstart now starting to pull the strings a lot harder than they were in the first half. They've got quite a fine players in the mix. The only problem for Kickstart so far has been the link-up. Somehow they are playing more like 11 isolated players on the pitch. They'll need more coordination, and that will help them orchestrate more attacks. That will help them engineer more maneuvers in the mix. A lovely ball forward. Intercepted once again. Snatched away. Lovett doesn't make the most of the ball. Rafiat. But again, wonderful clearance there from Mona Lisa Devi. And that will go out of play. Just a nick to it. Out of the park straight away. Throw in. Two changes here for Sribhumi Football Club. They will be getting Arena Devi and Shivani Devi in the mix. Both attacking options out here. And Anju Tamang, an excellent game of football. And Kamala Devi the goal scorer. They are off. Which means Shivani Devi will actually have a free run as the centre forward. And replacing Kamala Devi is Arina Devi, who's got to hold things, who's going to be the fulcrum. And straight away an attack for Sribhumi. Good layoff on the left. Does well to check the run, eventually loses her footing. And the referee has blown the whistle. That was more like a forced challenge. She almost drew it in like a vortex, and a yellow card as well being shown. Looks like it is Kiran Bala Chanu who's been booked out there. Yes, it is Kiran Bala Chanu. A free kick for Sribhumi Football Club at a very good position. And they are arranging their forces out there. Anju Chanu with the free kick. Good opportunity for her. Anju curls it towards the far side. Headed away very meekly, to be honest. Back to Lovett. But Lovett simply doesn't break free. Staunch defending, to be honest, from Poonam Sharma and Toibisana Chanu. They did a phenomenal job. Kept a very strong interlocking to stall the run of Lovett. And that's very good collection at the end of the day. Karishma Shirvoikar, she was not making a dash of it. Eludes everyone. And the ball rolls out of the park. Throw in for now. Well, the game exactly hasn't had a handful of incredible special moments. It's more like a slugfest. It's more like a rugged slugfest. And that's the confirmation. Kiran Bala Chanu with the yellow card. Ranjana. Decent ball into the center. Slightly overpowered maybe. Can be a chance in the making. Olivia Chanu kind of figured it out. That ball was going to go away from her. And no way she was reaching that in time. And it eventually does go out from her. Does go away from her. There'll be a throw in for Kickstart Football Club. Ranjana Chanu does well to snatch the ball, storm into the center. This game has seen way too many mispasses and extremely easy turnovers. Ideally, your turnover shouldn't be that easy. That's what you have to take care of. But both the teams have kind of failed to come up with a commanding statement. And a yellow card being shown to Arina Devi. She's just come on a few moments ago. We'll take a look once again. That was Bibita Devi, and Arina almost running through her. And she knew that she was guilty. Guilty as charged, of course. Free kick. Kiran Pista. Launches it forward. And again, nothing substantial, nothing important, nothing impressive out of it. Shivani Devi. The long balls aren't really working for Sribhumi at all. Bibicha does well to relay the ball. Baby Sana with a gentle chip. They had Rafia Taweda right in front. A bit of chaos. Rafiat does well to get hold of the ball. Love it with the chance, and Love it gets the equalizer. All smiles restored in Kalyani for the Kickstart Football Club. Finally, the goal drought has been broken. Chaos in the box for Sribhumi Football Club, and the price gets a bit too heavy. And it was Rafia Taweda with the setup. Lavatede with the finish. Two Nigerians linking up. And just take a look at the positioning in front of them. No one aware of what they actually had to do. Everyone in the position, and Kulbisana Chanu did well to eventually come behind the line of the ball. But then the ball was always curling away from her. And they pay a price. A price hefty enough. A lead that stayed strong for 80 minutes has simply evaporated. And that's the problem of a slender lead. And it's another corner for Kickstart Football Club. Suddenly, there's life in their tank. And they'll try and make the most out of it. This is what goals do to you. They act as a catalyst. And they help you recalibrate, rethink your strategies. Here's a corner. Kiran Pista to deliver that. Kiran actually sends in a very good corner. And a glancing header probing the defenses of Sribhumi Football Club once again came floating in. Mona Lisa Devi had to keep a very keen tab on the sudden trail of the ball. And eventually figures out that it's gone out to play. Problem solved. For now. Rafiat, oh wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Rafiat with $1 million forward ball. And again a very hasty clearance at the expense of a throw-in. We talked about this before. The clearances that were coming in from Sribhumi Football Club, they were more like schoolgirl errors. They were just doing it for the sake of it, just going through the motions. There was no real intent. There was no proper strategy. And the price now that they have paid, it can be even heavier if they don't learn their lessons out here. Kickstart Football Club, it always looked like they were coming. They were having a lot more intent. They were having a lot more urgency. It was only the lack of a final pass, a decisive pass. And the moment it came, it split apart the Sribhumi defense like a storm through a house of cards. Throw in for Sribhumi. This upcoming 7 minutes now has suddenly become extremely intriguing, fascinating. And both the teams will have to be on guard. Rafiat once again does well. Rafiat in the box. Rafiat close by. Lets the minus in. The loud appeal for a penalty, and it is a penalty for Kickstart Football Club. It's going horribly wrong for Sribhumi Football Club. Practically from a position of dominance, it looks like they are blowing up in flames. Arifa Zahir will need some treatment. But Rafiat Aweda, what an incredible play. That clearly was a handball. No questions asked. Anju Chanu just couldn't get the hand out from a very unnatural position. It felt like she almost gave it away. She was confused what to do. The ball came to her like a cannonball hurtling, and she took it with her hands on guard. And now trouble and a challenge. Trial by fire for Mona Lisa Devi. Is this a game changer? Baby Sana Devi. Baby Sana Devi, no trouble at all. As cool as it gets, as beautiful as it gets, as clinical as it gets. And Kickstart Football Club, in a span of 5 minutes, they have turned the game on its head. And Sribhumi Football Club have been stunned, flabbergasted, nonplussed, beyond measure. And it is none other than Rafiat Aweda, a player who's done everything right, winning the penalty. And Baby Sana Devi says, "Thank you so much, Rafiat. You have brought us here. I'll deliver the killing blow. I'll do the honors." A gentle trip, Mona Lisa Devi, clawing at the surface. And it's all turned around. That's how quickly games can change. That's why football is a masterclass of uncertainty. You keep your guards down for a split second, and the next thing you know is you're staring down the barrel. The next thing you know, you have been knocked out flat cold by a possible cross, by a possible jab that you never really anticipated. It's going to be interesting. Four changes have been made so far by Sribhumi Football Club. They have one slot, one more change remaining. Will that be Bala Devi coming in? Maybe a last roll of the dice to try and get some attacking prowess out in the center. Throw everything possible. Free kick. Kiran Bala. Apologies, Kiran Pista. Sorry about that. Once again, Rafiat trying to find Lovett. Rafiat going strong. Rafiat, gentle flick forward. And Lovett ended up directing the ball towards her own nose. Shivani Devi now has a task cut out. Arena. Plays it to the left. Good exchange there. Arena again. Arena through the center, eludes everyone. Back to Sribhumi Football Club. They're taking a bit longer than expected. Cleared away without any trouble at all. Goes out of the park. Throw in. And that's a $1 million clearance there. Sliding tackle coming in just in time. Wonderfully done there by Aruna Bhag. Another fine cross, and there was trouble. Two players from Sribhumi Football Club circling around. But then standing tall in the rubble is Mebamlan Thoigambi. She's had a good game. Had to come up with a few clutch saves. And now the onus will get a lot more tougher, because Sribhumi Football Club, they will go all guns, all blasters, all bazookas blazing. They want that equalizer. But that's a very meek delivery from Rimpa Haldar. Doesn't find a way forward. Sribhumi Football Club, they started the tournament with 2 clinical wins, and now suddenly they're staring out at the possibility of 2 back-to-back defeats, which will dent their chances of remaining in the top 3 severely. Headed away to safety. Rafiat now dropping deep. Kickstart Football Club, they want to put this game to bed. They want an insurance goal. Love it, Ede. trying to be cheeky, but Lavitere actually does well to stick to the ball. And now Baby Sana hoping for a shot, gets thwarted. And now Rimpa Haldar, she's got some open space, is it? A long forward. This can be trouble. Again, wonderful save there. Good advancement coming in from Mevhamlin Toigambi. Unfazed, unafraid. She knew that she had to come up with a clutch touch, and she did so. That's going to be another throw in here. 89 minutes, final minute of regulation time, and then possibly 5 to 6 minutes of additional time. Not too many stoppages. Or might be even less as well. Five minutes is what we have. So 5 minutes of additional minutes that has been granted. 300 seconds is what Sribhumi has to equalize. 300 seconds is what Kickstart will have to defend for now. And if possible, they get that insurance goal and they put this game to bed once and for all. Kiran Pista will be tickled. Had an excellent game today. Love it, Ede. I love it as well. Now starting to create all the troubles. That's a delicate chip, but nowhere close to the goal. Goes out of the park. This has been a remarkable watershed. A watershed from Kickstart Football Club that has been carved in courage and coated in class. First half, they looked like they never had an answer to certain questions being posed. The second half, they were a completely different side. A side brimming with intent. A side packed to the rafters with panache. And that's exactly what's got them the lead. Fury of 5 minutes. Madness of the highest order. And the game turned on its head. But Sribhumi Football Club, do not write them off yet. They'll keep on coming at you. They have got players who can make the difference. Shivani Devi doesn't get an opening, wins a corner nonetheless. Another set piece and another chance for Sribhumi to restore parity. Shivani with the corner. This can be a chance. Chaos in the box. Bodies falling down like dominoes. Shivani trying to go for a swipe, but doesn't eventually get the ball from where a chance could have come. Mona Lisa Devi now, way out of that line. Launches another one of those balls forward, headed away momentarily. Arena. Anju. Arena once again. Lays it off onto the left. Cross comes in, emasculated to be honest. Could have done better. Bit of frustration now building out there for Sribhumi Football Club. Where did the throw go? That was an ill-taken throw. You can see hands going up in the air in resignation. 2 minutes, 2 quick minutes is what they'll have to try and find redemption, try and restoring parity, or else the 2 wins that they kickstarted their campaign with will soon turn to ashes. Now the crossfield ball. Intended for whom? Lavatede has dropped deep enough, trying to assist her defense. Ranjana Chanu slashes at it, gets it out for a throw-in. Shivani Devi with the throw. Shivani trying to get it forward. Can be a corner. It is a corner. Oh, this game is still not done. This game still has a lot of drama remaining. Who will say 60 more seconds and we'll have the final whistle. Cleared away. Another long ranger, thwarted. Gets an opening on the left. A chance, flashed forward. Brought down just in the nick of time. They don't have time to go back. They'll have to keep on cycling it into the attacking zone. They'll need a bit more controlled passes, and suddenly they've lost it. Few crucial seconds being lost. Mona Lisa Devi had to be out of a line. These are dying embers. You can't think about defense anymore, or else you're going down anyway. Pick it up, gun it back in. No more time remaining. 10 seconds. Kickstart knows that they are exactly where they want to be. And they have got Sribhumi in a very uncomfortable corner. And that very well should be the last goal of the game. Lintoi Gambi. No, looks like we'll have more of it. We're still not done. One last run maybe. Mamta. Rimpa latches on to the ball. Plays it to the far right. There was more intensity needed. But then, with this, we come to the end of the game. A victory that will be etched in gold for Kickstart Football Club. The first of the campaign. Take a look at how Lakshman Bhattarai is absolutely delighted. The director of football on the bench for Kickstart Football Club. And what a show by Lavit Ede and Rafiat Oweda. The two Nigerian markswomen hunting in pack and eventually getting their team the much needed 3 points that they were desperately searching for. First 3 games didn't go their way, so what? They fought back, and they fought back with an intent of coming back to the fore. A team that finished in the 4th position in the last game showed all the courage, all the grit, all the gumption that was needed to eventually get themselves back in the hunt. And you can see the players excited. They enjoyed themselves out in the center. And Sribhumi Football Club, they will need some serious introspection. They held the lead until the 88th minute. And then Lavit Ede snuffed it out with that equalizer. And then another quick maneuver out in the center from Lavit Ede won them the all-important penalty. And that's how things end. Kickstart Football Club 2, Sribhumi Football Club 1. We'll take a quick look at the highlights of this game. The pre-match rituals coming up. That's how it all started. Sribhumi Football Club definitely had things under control in the first half. They kept on coming forward. A lot of mistakes from Kickstart Football Club in the initial half. And then it was Rafiat Oweda, time and time again, probing Mona Lisa Devi. And Mehbam Lintoi Gambi had to stall a penalty. And she couldn't match up to the prowess of Yumnam Kamala Devi. Who would have known that once Kamala Devi left the field, her team was staring down the barrel. Then a couple of fine runs, to be honest. Lavit Ede, not too keen on speed, but came up with a couple of excellent deliveries for Rafiat Oweda. And then another long ranger going miles away. Comfortable collections altogether. No real trouble, no real problem. And that was an incredible ball. Rimpa Halda should have converted that. We said this before. We said it in the last game as well. You don't take your chances. You look at punishment. And that's exactly what's happened. Chances after chances kept on coming, kept on knocking on the doors. And none of them were taken. And at the end of the day, those missed chances will be haunting Sribhumi Football Club. That was another one of those gilt-edged opportunities. Lovely layoff for Anju Tamang. And Anju missing out the mark from point-blank range. There was a decent free kick. Had a menacing dip to it. Kiran Pista kept on floating in those corners, free kicks. But unfortunately, couldn't make the most of it. Aruna Bag trying her luck from range, taking a shot on the turn. Getting it all wrong, unfortunately. There was a lovely opening as well. And that's how first half ended. The second half somehow, Sribhumi Football Club completely lost track of things. Kickstart Football Club, they were always on the lookout. Anju Tamang did have a couple of good chances, but then went a bit too acute, complicated matters for her, and that is how the first goal came into existence. A lovely outside dodge from Rafia Torreira allowed her to throw Mona Lisa Devi into utter disarray, and Lavit Ede converted that chance. And then another fine run from Rafiat, eventually a ping from the deadly Lavit Ede won them the penalty. And Baby Sana Devi, no mistake, no troubles, stepped up, hammered one into the back of the net. And then despite coming close, Mebamlan Toigambi took control of proceedings. And the final scoreline, Kickstart Football Club 2 and Sribhumi Football Club 1. Thank you everyone for joining in. We have 2 more games coming up in the second half, so stay tuned to the Indian Football YouTube channel.